last time.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome. This is the Yang Family Tai Chi section 2. And today we are going to do a review of a needle to sea bottom. And then we're going to go on to fan through the back. I want to go back to something from last class, which is I did not give a very good answer to Karen when you asked about the empty stance to the heel versus toe. So the way Master Yang explains it, he says that the heel touch is more for rooting and the ball touch is more for support. And the somewhat confusing part about that is that we often use the word root for connect to the ground. And what he actually means is that from the classics, when he talks about the energy coming from the root in your feet, developed by your legs, controlled by your waist, and manifest in the hands, that's what he's talking about. When he says that the heel touch is more for rooting, it means it's more for generating energy, as opposed to the ball touch, which is more for support. So in kind of general terms, think of it like offense and defense. So when you're generating energy, when you're doing a split energy, you're using a heel touch. When you're doing white crane, you're using a ball touch. And you think, wow, you know, here you're using split energy for raise hands and step forward. Or when you do hand strum salute, right? That's also a split energy and up and down. And you think, well, you know, the hand strum salute split energy up and down looks a lot like white crane, right? Does that look like split energy? Why shouldn't that be a heel touch? And the reason is that white crane is not a split energy. White crane is when someone's punching you and you're deflecting them. So it's a defensive move. So when you have a ball touch to support, it means it helps you maintain your structure so that you can do defense. Whereas when you use a heel touch, you are originating the energy. You're not deflecting somebody else's energy. You're making the energy. And so that's the basic difference. Does that make more sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Since we're doing needle to sea bottom, let's do it for from let's see, let's do it from fist under elbow, and we'll do a little review and then go into needle to sea bottom. Okay, so when you're at fist under elbow, okay, we're going to do step back repulse monkey. Okay, so swing step, hand comes in, strike. Swing step, hand comes in, turn and strike. Swing step, hand comes in, turn and strike. And let's do the modified diagonal flying. Okay, so we're turning, pulling in, step. And then as you turn your left foot, you close. Open and step. Raise hands and step forward. Pull in, raise your arms, come back. Heel touch, hands close. White crane spreads its wings. Pull down, all your weight goes to the back. Step and close. Turn. Step and open. Left brush knee. Swing. Step. Brush and strike. Needle at C bottom. Yield forward. Pull in the back foot. Pull back and change your footwork and sink. Okay, so the hard part about needle at C bottom is, of course, that you have to sink. The most basic version of needle at C bottom is basically like white crane. So if you think of white crane, when you were doing white crane, that's an empty stance. You have a ball touch, right? And if you bend at your hips, maybe I do it sideways. Okay. If you bend at your hips, keep your hand here and change your hand here. That's needle at C bottom. If now the name of it, needle at C bottom, implies that you want to touch the C bottom, right? So that's why people want to, you know, bend further to reach the ground. And the so if you are doing the basic, okay, if you want to go further down, it means that you have to bend your back foot and sink. Okay, so it has to sink, so your whole center sinks. Okay, so the defects that people get into in trying to sink without having good structure are generally of two sorts. One is that they stick their butt backwards, and that way they feel they can sink, right? But then that shifts all your weight back, right? So you're not moving your body center down. And what happens is you tend to collapse your knee if you do that. The other way people do it is that they don't collapse their knee, okay? But what they do instead is they shift their hip out. So I'm lined up, but my hip is way out there, okay? So you've got to try to keep centered in both dimensions, okay? You have to be centered left, right, and forward and back. So with that in mind, don't go further than you can, without keeping all those dimensions in place. Okay? Does that make sense?
So Rita, we're also not supposed to bend the front left knee either. It's supposed to be a straight leg, right?
No, it doesn't have to be a straight leg. If it were a straight leg, you'd get your hip out back. So your front leg actually bends slightly. See, in order for you to have your front leg straight and not have your rear end going out, you would have to have quite a long stance. You see what I'm saying?
So a slight bend, but not, it's not supposed to be equal or anything like that, because if there's supposed to be a difference in the weight balance.
Right, right. Your front leg is straighter than your right, but it's not straight. It just takes practice. So let's try it, okay? So when you're going from, let's go this way. Okay. From left brush knee, okay? So you're at a bow stance here. When you yield forward, you kind of push off your back toe, ball of your foot and pull in. Now, make sure that you're one line, two sides here, and that the back toe is 45 degrees toward the corner. Because what I tend to do is I tend to have it too far open. And if you have it too far open, then your knee tends to go in. So you should have your foot to the corner so that when you bend, it lines up. Okay, so you yield, then you pull your foot in, then you push off your heel as you pull to the side of your face. Then you shift your footwork to the toe, and then you sink down. Does that make sense? So you're at left brush knee, you yield forward, pull in the back foot, then push off your front heel, and then change your footwork and sink down. Now, if there aren't any questions?
Just one comment, when I was reviewing some of his videos, Master Young's videos today, I noticed that in this movement, he said that the left arm, when it comes down, is in exactly the same position to the side of your, is it vertical to this, he said vertical to the side of your leg as it is in like say brush knee and push.
Yes.
And I think I'd always like put my arm out further, and I just wondered that's a standard, right? I mean, I just didn't know that, I assume.
Okay, so if I'm doing it facing you, okay, I'm here, I come in, I yield. I'm coming up, okay, after I make my front hand to block while I'm pulling back, when I come down, my hand does not change. So I'm coming down. Can you see that it comes down? It's just coming down. Okay. And it's the same hand shape as brush knee.
Position is to the side of the leg.
To the side of the leg,
Back
except
by the side
my
of the
body happens to be further down. But if
Right.
I were doing brush knee, okay, it's to the side, it's the similar hand shape. It's just that my body's further down.
Right.
And also when you're here, you're yielding, you're coming in here, this hand shape is already made. So when you're going down, that hand stays the same. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if you can see, but you know, when I come here, when I go down, my hand shape stays the same.
That makes another question for me, because I thought that there was supposed to be kind of like a straight out and down, like a drop off.
Yeah, it is a
kind of
straight
thing.
out and down.
Well, that's not really what it looks like when he does it, when Master Young does it. He said, you know, you pull back at an angle and it looks like he's going basically pretty straight down, but it comes down at an angle and just keeps going. So is it
Yeah.
just that it's moved so quickly I don't quite see the angle, or?
Well, it's so it does come forward and down. So when it does come forward and down. But it looks different for each person because of the way their bodies go down. You know what I'm saying? So your hand looks different because you're looking at it relative to your body. And for that reason, it also feels different.
I think I was always a little confused about like, how do I extend it out and then down? Do I just like keep, I don't know. So
You do extend it out and then down. It's Nancy describes it like a diver going out. You don't want to hit the rocks. You have to go out a little bit.
that'll really seal it in my memory. Thank you.
Don't hit the rocks.
Don't hit the rocks.
It's not like a rocket launcher out. You know, it's like a diver. You go, you know, it's just a little, it's what? A little circle.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not a robot arm, you know. It's already, it's kind of like it's this angle, right? Except there's just a little tiny intention to go forward and down, right? Wouldn't you say, Rita?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
small. It's like your arm was diving.
But there is a forward, you know, there is definitely a little forward there.
But you're also making you're also folding. So yeah.
Yeah. You know, you're folding, you know, as you're going down, and there's a lot of things happening basically. Okay, so let's do it one more time. So you're at left brush knee, and then you yield forward, you pull in the back leg, you pull back, pushing off the left heel, you change your footwork, and you come down. Okay. If there aren't any more questions, let's try the next move.
That was really helpful, Rita. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So the next move is fan through the back. And fan through the back in the ending position looks a lot like single whip. Okay, so you're starting from down. Let me show it to you real quick. Okay, so if you're starting from down here, what you're doing is you're coming up, you're attaching your left hand, you're pushing up, and as you get to the top, you step, and then you strike. But if you think about, if I made a hook hand here, that would look just like single whip, right? So that's why I say it's like single whip. And the left hand is just like single whip. So there's a little bit of timing here, because when you're coming up, let's look at the right hand, okay? Let's not go down. Let's just look at it as if we were down. Okay, when you come up, this hand rotates at using the forearm so that it's out. When you were down, your palm was going that way. Now you're going to turn it so your palm is going that way. Okay? And when you get to the top, you're going to pull back. Okay? Now, one of the things you have to be careful about is you're coming up, you're turning, you're pulling back. When you pull back, be careful that you don't have your shoulder up here, okay? You still have to have that body shape, even though your hand is high, you know, your shoulder has to feel like it's down, okay? So, when you did white crane, your hand is up, but you still had to try to maintain that down feeling so that you could maintain your body posture. Okay, so that's the trick on this hand. The other hand is down here, and then when this hand gets to straight out from your shoulder, this one attaches. And where does it attach? It attaches here. It looks like the forearm, but it's actually the forearm behind the wrist. Okay, because what you're doing is if someone is striking, you are trapping them. Okay, and you want to trap them at your forearm and not at your wrist, because your wrist is a joint. And that's not a good place to trap something. You want to trap them here. Okay, so think of it that way. So when you come up, okay, as you're turning here, you trap when your arm is straight here. Then as you get to the top, that's when you step. You step at the top and then shift weight and strike. So this is actually a pull and strike. Okay. So once again, because this is the third move where you are standing straight up. So the first one was left ward off. The second one was single whip. And this is the third one, fan through the back. And the trick for the moves where you're standing straight up is you're open a little bit more than 45 degrees. Okay. Your hip opens more so that your hip can be straight. In other words, if you do not open your hip enough, then your hip will be slanted. You know what I'm saying? It won't be straight across. You'll have to try it, because if you're here and you do not open enough, it's very hard for you to get this line straight across. And you want to be straight across so that you line up vertically. Okay, if your hips are cocked, you will not be vertical. Okay, so think about pulling this in slightly, and you can only do that if you open up your hips a little bit more. Single whip, same thing. Okay, bend through the back. You're here and opening up. And this is another one of these yin yang moves where one goes forward and one goes back. And you can't have the one go forward and one go back if when you came up, you did not keep your arms straight. In other words, there's a great tendency as you come up to kind of bend your elbow. If you bend your elbow first, you've got nothing to pull back, okay? You've got to have it straight so that you can one forward, one back, right? One forward, one back.
Yeah. How does the left hand get to the right arm?
Okay, so as you're coming up, this one is turning.
Right.
So when it turns, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to have, when you're coming up, you're supposed to be turning the whole way and then come back.
Right.
I found that when I come up, I tend to turn a little bit early so that this surface is opposite my shoulder so that I have a good attachment point.
Yeah. So how is your left hand getting over to your right arm?
So when I'm coming up, I don't know if you can see, okay. So when I'm coming up, this is coming up the same time this is coming up,
Right.
comes together.
So they both meet in like the middle of your body?
They actually meet, the right hand stays in front of the shoulder.
Okay.
So as I'm coming up, so when I'm here, this hand is on this side of my body, this hand is on this side of my body.
Got it.
So as I'm coming up, this hand meets this hand.
Yeah.
So this hand is coming up, attaches when I'm straight out, and then
Okay.
pushes up. Okay, so once this attaches, this hand pushes up and helps the other hand get up,
Okay.
and then separate.
Okay. So it's a bend and a diagonal across the body.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
it's a front and a back. Okay, so let me think about how I can, let me do it this way. Each direction shows you a little different thing, right?
Yes.
So, so if I'm here and I'm coming up, I'm turning, I'm attaching, I'm up, and then as I get up to the top, I step. So it's like, just like you have the coordination of step and close, this one is when you get up, you close. Okay, when you get to the top, you close, I mean, you step. Okay, up and step. Okay, so you're here, you come up and step. Then open. Okay. Questions? Not clear enough? Okay. Let's do it a few more times then. Okay. I'll do it from this side this time. Okay. So you're at needle to the C bottom. Then you come up, attach. When you get to the top, step. So in terms of the left hand, it's just like a single wick. So your gaze is you're looking through your tiger's mouth as you come up to the top position. This one, you're actually to the side of your temple. Okay, you're like a fist's width away from your head. When I first learned it, Master Yang said today that it should be a little higher. But when he does it, it's actually just opposite. Because when I learned it, it was you have it side of your head, a fist width away, and if you peek to the side, you could look through your tiger's mouth. So the danger is more commonly that people don't have it high enough. So when they're here and they separate, they tend to have it too low. And that's partly because people keep warning them, oh, keep your shoulder down, and then they have it too low. Okay. So are there any questions?
So my understanding of when you pull the arm straight back is that your arm has to be at the right height at that point, and then it goes straight back. It doesn't go up at an angle. Is that correct? It goes,
Yeah.
you're already in
It goes-
position, your elbow's in the right place, and then you just pull
Yeah,
straight
and
back.
you just go straight back.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Because this is a grabbing arm. You're pulling. Okay. So basically, you're pulling and hitting someone in the side of the ribs. So that's why this comes out straight from your shoulder. It shows straight from your shoulder, but actually you are pulling them up so that you can hit them in the side of the ribs. It's kind of like fist under elbow, right? You're pulling somebody up and you hit them. The side of the ribs is apparently a favorite place to hit people. I mean, think of it this way. There's not much there, you know, it's like the shin of your leg, you know. What is there covering the bones? Well, not much.
Except on
So,
my body.
but you know, so that's why you hit there. Okay, so let's do it from needle at sea bottom and do it a few times so that you get the sense of the coordination. Okay, so if you're at needle at sea bottom, you're coming up. When your arm is straight, you attach, you move, you push up and step, separate. Okay, make sure you turn enough. Okay, turn a little bit more than 45 degrees because you cannot get your hip in to a straight line if you don't open enough.
Is this one of these things where the top of your body is straight, is facing forward, but your hips are moving to the right?
Your hips are moving to the right, but actually your head is facing forward. Okay, your body is actually kind of to the corner, so it's not as far as your hips, but it is to the corner.
Okay.
Okay, it's not square like some of the other moves. You have square and your hips are that way, but no, this one you're to the corner.
Good.
Rita,
Yeah.
will you attach the left hand. Where's your thumb?
Your thumb, you are attaching your palm to your forearm. Okay, so do not have your thumb underneath. That is not a good habit. Okay, because it's a good way to break your thumb. So have your palm attach here. Push
Okay.
up.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions?
So when we are pushing that person off our hand and pulling back, pushing their body back and pulling back, our left arm is not going to be at the same height as the right hand. It's going to have to come down lower in order to see the tiger
It is
side
definitely lower.
and to have the proper
It
bend.
is at the
like bend.
same place as your single whip.
Okay, that's what I thought.
So remember where your hand was at single whip? So this is higher. This is definitely higher than this.
Right arm goes back, left.
So one goes back, the other goes forward. The thing that's hard is that when you're going here, to remember that you are not here. You are here. Okay. So even a little change in the angle of your arm really changes how your shoulder connects to your back.
Always blocking my vision with my hand.
Think about peeking through your tiger's mouth. That way your hand won't be too low, you know? So let's try it again. Okay, I'll do it from the other side. Okay, you're here. When you come up, you attach. When you get to the top, you step. And you're straight up and down. So let's do it. Let's do it from cross hands and see if we can connect everything together. Okay. I'm going to turn around and I'll call it and we'll give it a try. Okay. We're at cross hands. Don't forget your tree shape. Okay. We're going to shift weight to the right. Turn your left foot almost to the straight. Shift weight to the left as you separate your hands. Pull in the right foot, swing, step. Brush and strike. Roll back. Pull up your right hand, turn your left, and make your roll back shape. Then roll back to the side. Press. Pull in the right, attach the left, Press out to the corner. Push. Square up to the corner. Flatten your hands. Come back. Hands in front of your chest and push forward. Fist under elbow. Shift weight back as you flatten your hand. Turn and pull all the way around. Press down. Release the left foot. Ward off with the left hand. Push out with the right. Step to the corner and connect. Step right and grab. Pivot your left foot, pull down, make your fist, shift your footwork, root the left foot, pull, lift up and strike. Step back and repulse monkey. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Diagonal flying. Turn, pull in the right foot, step out and open. Raise hands and step forward. Pull in the left foot, circle your arms, root your right heel and close. White crane spreads its wings. Pull down, shift all the weight back. Step and close. Turn, step and open. Left brush knee. Turn your hands, swing, step, brush, strike. Needle at C bottom, yield forward, pull in the right foot, pull back, pushing off your heel, change your footwork and sink down. Land through the back, come up, turn your right hand, attach the left. When you're at the top, step out, separate. Make sure that you're straight up and down. How did that feel?
Good. Good.
Okay. That looked good. Okay, let's do it one more time and then we'll close class. How about that? Okay. Cross hands. Shift right. Turn the left foot almost to straight. Shift back, open. Pull in the right, swing, step. Brush, strike. Roll back. Circle your hands. Shift weight back. Turn to the side. Press. Pull in the right. Attach the left. Press forward. Push. Square up to the corner. Flatten your hands. Pull back in front of your chest and push forward. Fist under elbow. Pull your weight back. Flatten your hands. Turn and pull. Push down. Release the left. Ward off with the left hand. Push out with the right. Step to the corner as you connect. Step as you grab. Pivot your left toe, pull down, make your fist, shift your heel, lift up, strike. Step back, repulse monkey. 1. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. 2. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. 3. Swing, step. Hand to the shoulder, turn and strike. Diagonal flying. Turn, step and close, open and pivot the left foot. Raise hands and step forward. Pull in the left foot. Make a circle with your hands. Close as you root the right heel. White crane spreads its wings. Pull down all the way in the back. Circle and close and step. Turn. Right foot touches and open your wings. Left foot touches, sorry. Left brush knee. Turn your hands, swing, step. Brush, strike. Needle at C bottom. Yield forward. Pull in the right foot. Come, push off the heel, come back, and change your footwork and sink. Fan through the back. Come up, turn your right arm, attach the left, step as you get to the top, separate, and look through your tiger's mouth when you're at the end position. Okay,
Okay.
any questions?
Really good instruction, Rita.
I don't know about
Yes.
that.
She's been a
I'll
whole
echo
hour.
that. That was fabulous.
I talk too much. That's the problem.
No, you're great. You're great.
No, that was great, Rita.
Okay, so if there aren't any questions, we will close class. Thank you very much for coming. I'll see you either Friday or next week.
You're not gonna have us, you're not gonna
Thank
have us
you.
practice cloud hands in a circle?
We could do that, but that's not this form.
I know.
That's actually not only in the senior form, it's in the essential form too. So if you're going to go to the next class as well, you'll see that again. Okay.
Just to tell you, Michelle, what I found really helpful
Yeah,
was when I discovered that if I was a little kid and I was just like turning around or I was spinning, don't think of spinning, but like if you step backwards, if you had your feet shoulder width apart
yeah,
and you just stepped backwards and like turned,
Yeah.
from one direction to the next, your feet almost naturally go in this position where they're making like a T, like my foot is here and the other
Yeah.
one's coming in like this. It's just very, very natural. So that's 2 of them, right?
I can
'Cause
do the
there's-
feet, I can do the feet by themselves and I can do the arms by themselves. It's putting it together.
Okay, the other thing is when I gave up worrying about that, okay?
Yeah,
Give up worrying about that. Try to do the arms, but don't try to get them quite to the corner. Just try to make them reach out because you're turning all the time.
Yeah.
And you do, it does go towards those corners,
Well,
everybody's
that's
right.
kind of what I've been doing, just kind of playing.
Just keep going, and know that you can't step until you get to the extreme. But if you're
Yeah.
not at the corner, don't worry about that. Just keep going.
Just keep going. Okay.
Well, the thing is this, think of it this way. You already know the regular cloud hands,
Yeah. And
right?
I love it. I love it. I love that motion. Yeah.
So think of it this way. In regular cloud hands, your hands move and then your feet move. Your hands
Yeah.
move and then your feet move. So think of alternating hands, feet, and you'll get it.
Okay.
And think of your weight shifting, because your weight has to completely shift
Yes.
before
yes,
you can turn and step.
Yes.
And it's so much easier when you don't stop. So that's
Yes.
why I
Yes.
say, that's why I say you just need to throw your arms over there, get your body on that foot and turn, and then you throw your bodies, you just throw your arms over to the other side, and then you're on the correct foot and you just turn. Just try it. Don't worry about where they're going. Just keep turning.
Flailing.
Just think you're turning 90 degrees, because if you think you're turning 90 degrees, it's kind of easy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a 90 degree
This is one
turn.
of the
It's
easier
just,
turns. This is one of the easier turns, really. Because I don't have to do a lot of, swing my leg and turn myself around some magic way.
Yeah. It's not like 135 degrees or something.
Yeah, but keep your hips straight, right?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
cross your hands.
it's just a step back and a step forward. The step forward is harder, because you've got to really be ready to pivot really fast.
Just
or
keep
else
Yes.
doing the
you'll-
feet around and around and around, and then start flailing my arms around. And around.
Flail from corner to corner.
Think of shifting your weight, because you can't turn until you shift your weight.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
If it goes here, it goes here, then I'm gonna,
yeah.
right? Then I'll be able to move it. And then if it goes here, then I'll be able to, it's on
Yeah.
that foot and I'll be able to step back. I was the only way I could ever do it.
Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Everybody, thank you.
Good to see everybody.
Bye-bye.
Nice to see you.